Hello and welcome to Stafford.
Welcome to Stafford with the Voyagers pulling in behind me here. Today we have a bit of an interesting video. We're doing a comparison of sorts, and that's a clue behind you. We're going to be comparing the different variants of the Class 350.
Yes, you have the 350-1s, which are ex-Silverlink.
The Dash 2s, 3s and the 4s. Don't give it all away yet.
Yes.
Well,
we just know we're getting on a Dash 1 set first.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're going to be comparing the different variants. All of them are different in their own different ways. So yeah, let's see what they're like, and we will see you on the first train, which would be a set of 350-1s.
Yes, let's go on a Dash 1.
And we are here on the British Rail Class 350-4 as a bit of a surprise from Stafford, as we weren't expecting a Dash 4, we were expecting double Dash 1s.
Yeah, we got a Dash 4, and the Dash 4s are the ex-Transparent Express. People in the Northwest and Scotland might have been on these units before, because they were with Transparent Express between 2014 and 2019. After the electrification of the West Coast of the main line between Preston and Manchester and Wigan and Manchester, that allowed TP to use electric trains on that route.
And the fact that these only lasted on TP until 2019 means that these are the only members of the Class 350 family to have not donned the iconic London Midland livery, which only the 350-2 sport now.
Yeah, now these were in the iconic first Transparent Express Barbie livery when they were first ordered. Then they were in the same livery as the 185s were. And then when they transferred between London to London North Western in 2019-2020, they just pushed straight to London Western livery. So yeah, these were with TP, and you can kind of still tell. Obviously, it's been completely TP'd and mostly on the inside with newer maquettes on the seats and the carpets, but there are still some remnants. For example, the toilet sign over there is in purple, which is first Barbie livery, and the interior doors still do have some kind of little purple circles on, which were from TPE. So there is still some little differences with TPE, so you can kind of still tell.
Yeah.
If you're looking closely enough.
And in terms of the trains themselves, I really like these seats. These are the standard desiro seat. You get these on 185s and other members of the desiro family. And I actually really like it. So these seats, unlike flirt seats, which are of a very similar design, and these rectify my one big complaint with the flirt seats, and that's the flirt seats don't have any back support.
Yeah, these ones do. These ones do.
You can actually lean back into them properly.
You can.
There is a decent amount of padding on the base of the seat, and the ergonomic shape is good, not to mention a decently sized and actually somewhat padded armrest.
Yeah, they're actually really, really comfortable. So yeah, these are the Dash 4s, and they are the newest of the desiro trains. They were built between 2013 and 2014, as said for TPE. So yeah, they are the newest ones.
As is the same with all members of the Class 350 family, they are incredibly smooth riding.
They are, because they are heavy as all hell, these trains.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like them. I like these trains.
Yeah, I like them too. Now, we're going to stay on this 350-4 until Wolverhampton, and we're going to go into the 350-1 in the front unit and give you our views on that.
Yes.
So
we will sit on the Dash 1.
Well, let's relax until Wolverhampton. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, same.
Right, and we are here on the 350-1.
Yes, the original 350. These are the oldest of the 350 variants.
And 19 years old.
Yeah, they were built between 2005 and 2006. So yeah, and they were actually ordered by a now defunct operator. They were ordered by Silverlink.
Yes, and you can tell that because there are still Silverlink blue panels all around the train.
And when they were ordered, they were not actually put in the corporate Silverlink livery like you used to see on the 313s. They were actually just painted in blue and white, and that is for two reasons. And that is for a main reason, because they weren't just used by Silverlink. Central Trains also had them as well. They were kind of like they were the first rolling stock to be shared by two operating companies.
And this splitting of the train operators is what eventually led to the situation we have today, of where London North Western Railway, which is what Silverlink became, and West Midlands Railway, which is what Central Trains became, still sharing the 350s, because this service that we're on is a West Midlands Railway service.
It is, yes, it's not London North Western. However, that will all very soon change with the coming of the 730s on the Wolverhampton-Walsall line and on the Rugeley to Birmingham line. Which is what these trains do on West Midlands Railway, that will no longer be a thing, and these will solely be on London North Western Railway from December, I'm pretty sure.
And how that came to be was you had Silverlink and Central Trains share the trains, and then the government was like, okay, let's just form an overall West Midlands franchise, which includes what is now London North Western and West Midlands Railway, and
also
started,
a bit of what is now cross country as well, but that's irrelevant.
And that started with London Midland, because it started with what was at the time London Midland and London Midland City.
Yeah, London Midland City were the brands that they used for the 323s and the 350, and the services around Birmingham, and then London Midland was hanging to the regular ones, and then that eventually came to the split that we now see.
Yes, and that eventually, when London Midland lost the franchise, that became West Midlands Railway, and West Midlands Railway decided to brand it as two things.
Yes. So yeah, that's been the 350-1.
Yes, I like them. The seats are basically identical.
You cannot tell that they're 20 years old. You cannot.
No.
They still feel modern. I think that's due to also the refresh that they've had with London North Western. But you cannot tell these are 20 years old.
Yeah, but the seats are the same. Internal ambience is the same. Ride quality is basically the same. I think these are actually a tiny bit smoother.
They might be. I think they must have some early suspension on these. But yeah, I like these.
Yeah, I like these too. Anyway, so we're going into Birmingham now. From there, I think we're going to try get a -3. Then we'll finish off with
a -2.
The most controversial of them, the -2.
Yes. So yeah, we will see you in a bit.
We'll see you in a bit. Right, and we're here on the 350-3.
Yes, welcome to the -3, which after a recent refurbishment is pretty much undistinguishable from the other 350s in the fleet.
The only difference is the yellow handlebars, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's why we sat here in what was first class. London North Western did have first class up until just after the pandemic, when they declassified the whole lot with everything standard. Hence, and these used to have a first class, well, the 353 system, but the other ones used to have a first class thing on here, but they got rid of it when they declassified it.
Yeah.
So this is no longer first class. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of these seats.
No, I think the standard ones are better.
Yeah,
they're much more ergonomic, they're better padded, and these seats, they're really firm, and the maquette is actually quite irritating.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But we will be going into both sections on the -2, because the -2 is vastly different in both sections.
It is, yes.
And speaking of Dash 2s, these had a very similar interior to Dash 2s until very recently.
They did. They still had their old London Midland interiors until recently, because these were ordered by London Midland, like the Dash 2s were. Back in 2014, 2015, they have a capacity booster on their long distance services. These unlike the Dash 2s are actually being kept, which we'll get onto when we get onto the Dash 2s.
Yeah, but overall, they're 350s, very smooth riding, nice. Also, the other thing I really dislike is the plug socket area, because it's right where your leg is.
It is, yeah. It's a bit annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Anyway, so we're going to take this, there's a Dash 2 over there, so what we're going to do is we're taking this to Birmingham International, and then we're switching over to the 350-2, which we've got like a good half an hour-ish on that, so it'll give us time to go over both sections on the Dash 2.
Yeah, it will.
Anyways, yeah, let's take this Dash 3 over to International and then get on the Dash 2.
Yep, we will see you there.
Yippee! Right, and we are here on the British Rail Class 350-2.
Yeah, the X First Class section, and this is the only 2+2 section in the entire 350-2s. So if you're on a 350-2, if you got a train and you get a 350-2, make a dash to here if you can, because these seats are much nicer. These are the only trains on the Dash 2s that have tables, that have armrests, and also only have plug sockets.
And I'm actually going to go out and say this. I prefer these seats to the refurbished first class seats.
Yeah, these have a lot more padding, it feels like. And they're still on the old London Midland maquette as well.
Well, the ergonomics isn't as good.
No.
The London Midland maquette almost makes up for it because there's more padding and the maquette's a bit fluffier. It's not as irritating.
It feels a bit softer than the other ones. It almost kind of like springy and a bit hard. These have like a bit more fluff and a bit more padding to them, it feels like.
And these have a recline. A very minimal one, but it is still a recline.
It is.
You pull the little thing here, but
a bit of recline.
I don't know if the other ones don't have recline. So, I definitely think this is one of the few points where, for long distance services especially, the 350-2 actually wins when it comes to the declassified first class.
Because of these trains here, these seats here. These seats are really, really nice. I like them.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're not going to tell you about the what the rest of the train is like. We're going to let you see, and we're going to go and sit there.
Yeah.
We're going to sit in here till
the next stop.
And then we'll hand over to the standard class section.
Yep. Which, brace yourself. Very, very different.
Yes, very, very different. These definitely the nicest X first class of all the 350s. Brace yourself for what's coming.
Yes.
And welcome to the British Rail 350-2 standard class interior.
Welcome to the standard class version of these trains. And yeah, it's safe to say these are not really suited for long distance. These sections are very much a tale of two half 350s. I'd had the good section over there in the X First Class, and then we're in here.
Yes. So this operates routes of around 3 hours long sometimes on the London Crewe route. And this London-Birmingham route is pretty long as well.
Yeah, because this route, for some reason, forms the stoppers between Coventry and Birmingham International, so it does take a bit longer. And because it goes around the Northampton loop, it does take quite a decent amount of time, this route.
And there's a 3+2 seating.
Yes.
The seats are not as comfortable as
very,
the other
very
variants.
And they're very, very narrow.
They're narrow, And I feel like there's a bit less padding on them.
Yeah, and not to mention that there's no tables, no trade tables, no plug sockets. Literally, they are a commuter train.
Yes,
used on long distance service.
And that's what they're built for, because these trains were built for what at the time would have been Silverlink Metro, but when they actually came in, it was for London Midland stopper services between here and Milton Keynes and Tring and stuff.
They're meant for like kind of the local commuter services in like London and Birmingham. They were not meant to do these long distance services, but for some reason they do, which is really, really weird and really, really strange. But these trains are not much longer for this world. I say that because they are being withdrawn from service at the time of recording. 3 have gone already, or the other 37, with the other rest of the 37 to follow soon, replaced by the 350-2s and more 730s, which I think are a suitable replacement. So yeah, these trains are not long for this world, hence why they still have the old London Midland interiors and maquette, because they are being withdrawn. There was no point refurbishing them when they're going to be withdrawn.
Yes, the new 7. I think the reason why these are on the long distance routes more often now is because 730s will be eventually replacing them on the long distance routes, and I'm guessing they are already somewhat diagrammed as 730s.
They are. So the routes 730-52s will operate will be London to Crewe, London to Birmingham via Northampton, and Birmingham to Liverpool Lime Street, which is what these trains primarily do now.
Yeah. Overall, though, as a commuter train, I think these are okay. It's a bit narrow, but they're still all right.
If you had these on, like, say, Northern or, I don't know, the Glasgow commuter belts, these probably would be absolutely fine. But for the long distance routes, no, not really, no.
And speaking of Northern and ScotRail, of course these are being withdrawn from London North Western, but their future is still uncertain.
Yes.
They're not being scrapped.
No, they're not.
They're currently going into storage, but there is a high chance that one of 3 operators will take them. The first operator, ScotRail.
Yes, because they're currently doing a lot of electrification with ScotRail, like East Kilbride, Barhead, and they're running low on electric stock, so having some of these around while they get maybe some more 385s or something would be a good little stopgap, or maybe even keep them permanently.
Honestly, I'd rather this than a 385, I'm going to be very honest.
Northern, I don't think, would get them, because they have their new rolling stock coming in.
And the other operator, which may come as a surprise, would be South Western Railway.
Yes, retraction them to Third Rail, put some Third Rail shoes on.
Which these are capable of doing. These are capable of being just straight up converted to Third Rail. Some 350s, I don't believe any of the Dash 2s have this example, but some of the 350s even have all the stuff already there for Third Rail. So the Class 350 can be converted to Third Rail if need be.
Yes.
And South Western Railway, because of the absolute flop that is the Class 701, they are currently in a massive rolling stock shortage. They're running like 455s on Reading, where they should be running 450s, but they need 450s for long distance services, but they also need 450s to fill in for 701s. So having these would really rectify the problem, since it would essentially be more 450s. They've got essentially the exact same interior, apart from the first class section is not at either end of the train, it is in the middle, and otherwise it is identical. Yeah,
pretty much identical. But as a commuter train, these are fine, but long distance, no.
Which again, it's the same thing with SWR. Why do we see 450s on Portsmouth?
Yeah, 3+2.
Yeah.
But these ones, because they are being withdrawn, they feel a lot more tired, a lot more less looked after. Like the carpets are kind of blowing, and they have the kind of in the air, the kind of fusty smell in the air.
Yeah.
They don't feel as looked after as the other 350s because obviously they're being withdrawn. So it's kind of sad to see.
Yeah, also because these are the only trains left to have the London Midland livery, and that livery is such an iconic livery.
It is. It was an iconic livery.
I really like the London Midland livery.
It's kind of colourful. It's really colourful. Anyway, we're approaching Coventry, which is where they're getting off. Yeah. So we will outro the video at Coventry.
Yeah, we'll outro the video at Coventry. So let's go to Coventry.
Yep, which we are here.
Yippee! Right, and we are here at Coventry.
We're here at Coventry. But that has been it for the 350 comparison videos.
Yes, so what did you think of the 350s and which ones do you think were the best variants? I think it's fairly difficult to decide because the first class on the Dash 2 is much better than first classes on the others, but standard class on the others is much better than the Dash 2.
Yeah,
so it's sort of a split.
A real split, yeah. But yeah, I'm a big fan of all of them.
Yeah.
Dash 1s I like for that kind of retro Silverlink feel to them with the blue panellings. Dash 3s and Dash 4s feel the exact same.
I do like the fluorescent lighting in the Dash 2s.
Yeah, the kind of like orangey lighting, yeah.
I like that, but again, they just feel very, I think it makes it feel very dated.
They do feel very dated.
They feel dated and tired, which is really weird because, well, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't know. They're newish trains.
Yeah.
So
that's
been the 350-2 reviews.
That's been the Class 350 comparisons. And yeah, personally, I really like them. They're very smooth riding.
Very smooth, very good trains. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them.
Also, they're really reliable.
They are. They're very reliable.
So yeah, I have been Willow.
And I have been Ewan.
And we will see you next week.
We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.